When you know what you do, who you serve, why you do it, and why it matters, you make more aligned choices as you grow and market your business. And convincing people becomes less about convincing people and more about being who you are in a way that resonates with the right type of people who are going to want to do business with you. The confidence that you have in knowing that you're making decisions that are rooted in your truth creates clarity, which equals alignment. And when you have alignment and you have clarity, you are able to take bold action. Hello, I am so excited to be chatting with you today about one of my favorite topics, which is confidence and what that looks like inside of our business, especially when we are in the first 3 to 5 years. Confidence is such a hot button topic because without it, we don't take the action that we need. And it really steers the choices we make and how we show up for ourselves. It's also one of those things where we mistakenly witness other people and assume that they have got it figured out. Today, we are debunking some of the common misconceptions that we have when it comes to having confidence as a business owner. Welcome to the Heart Aligned Brand Podcast. I'm your host, Leanne, brand strategist, photographer, and mentor, helping folks like you create brands that look and feel like you without sacrificing who you are. This is a space where I'm sharing personal reflections, honest stories, and brand strategy to help you build a brand rooted in your truth. Whether you're navigating a rebrand, finding your voice, or just trying to hold on to who you are through the journey of owning a business, this podcast is for you. You are the heart of your brand. Let's build from there. All right, let's get into it. When it comes to owning a business, we all struggle with confidence, especially when you're just starting out or pivoting into a new direction for your business. Part of the reason why confidence is so challenging is because we are not just selling an offer, we are convincing other people to believe in us. And that ultimate belief is the purchase of the thing that we are selling. And that is really fucking vulnerable, especially when you are still struggling to believe that you are worth, capable of, have enough expertise, have enough value to add. A friend and fellow business owner said it perfectly. Owning a business is the daily practice of confronting yourself. And honestly, she nailed it. If you have been in this game long enough, you know that there is no way to have a successful business and to thrive without having to face your shit. In another Substack post that I wrote, I talked about how confidence to be seen starts first with having the courage to see yourself and hold the dream, hold the vision of what is possible. And that's the first step. Once you're in the business, once you're creating the art, once you're writing the book, what does confidence look and feel like in action? I want to say that running a business is this picturesque scene of a swan gracefully swimming, paddling, floating, whatever it is they do across a pond or a lake. No, that is not what's happening. What's happening is it's more like we are a chicken and we got a bucket on our head and we are running around this way and that, trying to figure out what the right action is to get us one step closer to building a sustainable, thriving business. And that feels like anything but confidence. What makes this worse is that when we are in the middle of building, pivoting, shifting, stepping into more of our leadership, stepping more into being seen, we see other people online or in the real world space who seemingly have it all together. And it's easy to assume that they have some magical confidence that you lack. The truth, though, no one is 100% confident 100% of the time. And in my experience, confidence comes from two places: alignment and action. Shocker that I would say alignment. The podcast is called the Heart Align Brand. But in all seriousness, alignment is the bedrock, the foundation of creating solid, fertile ground for your business to thrive. Without that solid foundation, you're going to build something and it will do the job for a period of time. As situations arise in your business and decisions need to be made, eventually the business that you have built on that foundation starts to crack and then it breaks apart because the foundation wasn't laid properly. When I decided to go all in on my business, the very first investment I made was in hiring a business coach, and it was hands down the best investment I made. She was able to expand my worldview simultaneously. She pushed me to understand what the motive was for the work I was doing and why this mattered to me. A lot of business gurus say one of the most important parts of going into business for yourself is choosing something that, even if you didn't get paid for it, that you would still be happy to do it. I used to resent that because I'm an idealist, realist, pragmatist. I'm like, no, people go into business to make money. Duh. And yes, that is 1000% true. But also, I have found in order to sustain being in a business, and there has to be something more that keeps you going when things get tough. If you started your business out of passion, that is great. But business is like a relationship. Passion gets you in, commitment keeps you going when shit gets hard. Having a sincere, deep understanding of what the motivation is for you to own this business isn't just for you. It shapes the way you move, talk, act, market, and show up in your business. And if you're thinking to yourself, well, I have a general idea, I understand what it is that's motivating me day to day. We are flawed humans. As much as our ego wants to tell us that we are operating from our highest, best self 100% of the time, that just isn't the case. And I have two examples that I want to share with you on this point exactly. First one is, if you've ever gone back to reread a college paper that you've written and thought to yourself, damn, that's some good shit right there. I wrote that. That's just one example of how we are these complex beings and there are different parts of operating at different times. It doesn't mean that part of us doesn't exist all the time. It just means certain occasions require different focus or different skills that we are going to be utilizing. So that's the first example. The second example is stress and anxiety send our nervous system into survival mode. And when we are in survival mode, the parts of our brain that are responsible for executive function, where we are thinking and being logical and we're not really lost in the sauce of our emotions, are not firing on all pistons. The reality of modern America is staying in a place of regulation and balance amidst all that is happening, not just in our personal lives, but with the world, is difficult. So we have to be realistic with ourselves and understand that when we're in stress and anxiety and survival mode, which can happen quickly and we're not even aware that it's happening, we're not operating from a place of passion, joy, peace, excitement, all of the wonderful feel good emotions that are at the heart of what it is that we do. So we have to have that foundation built so that when shit hits the fan or when we're feeling overwhelmed, we can touch base with this tangible reminder. Alignment is your North Star when you start to feel untethered. And the only way that we have alignment is through intentionality. When you know what you do, why you're doing it, and why it matters, when you know what you do, who you serve, why you do it, and why it matters, you make aligned choices as you grow and market your business. And convincing people becomes less about convincing people and more about being who you are in a way that resonates with the right type of people who are going to want to do business with you. The confidence that you have in knowing that you're making decisions rooted in deep knowing this is the path you are meant to take. And when you have alignment and you have clarity, you are able to take bold action. Which brings me to the second part of confidence, which is action. One of my favorite quotes that I return to often, said by Ira Glass, who I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know a ton about, but he's an artist. And somewhere in my journey of being a business owner, I read this quote. I was floored by the accuracy of the quote and what so many of us struggle with as artists and business owners and pursuers of our dreams. So I'm going to read this to you. Nobody tells this to people who are beginners. I wish someone had told me. All of us who do creative work, we get into it because we have good taste. But there is this gap. For the first couple years, you make stuff and it's just not that good. It's trying to be good. It has potential, but it's not. But your taste, the thing that got you into the game, is still killer. And your taste is why your work disappoints you. A lot of people never get past this phase. They quit. Most people I know who do interesting creative work went through years of this. We know our work doesn't have this special thing that we want it to have. We all go through this. And if you are just starting out or you're still in this phase, you got to know it's normal. And the most important thing you can do is do a lot of work. Put yourself on a deadline so that every week you will finish one story. It is only by going through a volume of work that you will close that gap and your work will be as good as your ambitions. You've just gotta fight your way through it. Chef's kiss. This is exactly the thing. So many of us are paralyzed by the idea of perfection. We believe that the only way that we can start is if we have everything figured out. And the reality, the truth is that the only way you're going to get better, the only way you're going to build that business, this vision of what you think it can be, is through doing the thing over and over and over again. Imperfectly, messily, mistakenly, so that after all of that work and all of that practice, one day you wake up and you're like, oh, damn, I'm making progress. I'm eons past where I thought I was going to be. The only way there is by doing. And by doing it, this is where you find your voice. When I say find your voice, I'm not just talking about the way you're speaking. I'm talking about the way you are being in the world. The way that you execute on the service that you provide or the product that you create. Each thing that you do is an influence and an embodiment of who you are. There is no shortcut to confidence. Action closes the gap between who you are and who you are becoming. And action gives your alignment proof that you are in integrity, you are in a place where you are living out who you are. So I want to leave you with this. Confidence isn't magic, and it's not something that you become and never have to revisit. Confidence is the repetitive action of alignment and action until you get to a place where being in that cycle of alignment, action, alignment, action, alignment, action becomes less scary, less harder to do. That's it. There's no secret code. There's no shortcut. There's no waiting until you feel ready. If you want clarity that makes confident action possible, start with my 5-day brand alignment challenge. This is a framework that I take all of my clients through to help them hone in and get that clarity on what it is that is the foundation of the business that they are building. And it's one that I return to frequently myself to make sure that I am still in alignment with what matters to me. If this resonated with you, you might also enjoy working with me. You can see all the ways in which we can work together below. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I hope that there was something in this that resonated with you. If you know of someone who would benefit from this podcast today, please share, like, and follow. And as always, remember, you've got this dang thing.